week we're looking at how to approach the Creative Genius planning sessions on the weeks when you have obstacles. So the first thing to remember about obstacles is that they are inevitable. Dreams and obstacles go together like chocolate and peanut butter. You have a dream, you will always have obstacles. You absolutely have to have systems, plans, processes, practices in place for handling the obstacles. You can't fall apart and get stuck every time you have an obstacle. And I mean systems, plans, processes, practices for handling your internal reaction, that thing that gets stirred up in you and that impacts the way you're seeing the situation, because that helps you get better at handle the outer work, facing the obstacle, looking it in the eye, figuring out what you're gonna do and doing it. You may try things and fail along the way. That's also inevitable. That's how we learn. That's fine. As long as you keep trying, you are going to figure it out. It's just that the thing that never works with obstacles, which is also kind of the thing that we all tend to do, is waiting. So waiting until you have more time or money to handle it, or waiting for it to just magically disappear on its own, or waiting for someone else to change things and fix it for you. There's so many ways that we just wait when it comes to our obstacles, and then we also in our minds justify why we're waiting and make it seem like the only logical choice. And none of that does any good ever. Now remember what I said in the basic Creative Genius planning process video about how this isn't about hustle culture or working so hard that you burn out or any of that. Resting is a part of the process of growing your dreams. Taking good care of yourself is a part of the process. Enjoying your life as it is right now is a part of the process. So I'm not saying you can't wait, you can't stop, you have to jump right in and you have to work harder. I want to be very clear about that. That's not what I'm saying when I'm saying that waiting never helps. I'm saying that you need to stay engaged. When we make a decision somewhere, and it's often unconscious, about waiting until the obstacle is cleared, what we're doing is disengaging from the process. And the answer is always to stay engaged in the process. And in fact, the more obstacles you have, the harder things are, or the faster you want to go, or the bigger your dreams get, the more deeply engaged you need to be. That's always the answer. It's an entirely different relationship you have with your obstacle when you are engaged, when you are remembering that you are a creative genius, when you're remembering that you are bigger than the obstacle, when you remember that you will find your way through because your dream is your soul calling you towards your true self. It's asking you to be more you and how you live your life. And so, of course, you're going to figure this out. This is what you're here to do. So, of course, you're going to stay in the process for as long as it takes. You're not sitting and waiting for something to change before you can engage. So, on the weeks when you have obstacles, that's the attitude that I want you to bring with you into the Creative Genius planning session. So I understand it's hard to embrace the obstacle, but can you embrace the process of overcoming it? Think about this right now. Take some notes in your journal or your planner. If you're in Dreambook, I'll put a link below to a practice I made that is called The Obstacle is the Way Through, because the obstacle you're facing right now absolutely is your way through. This practice will help you use the obstacle as fuel, energy, and clarity for working through it. And I suggest you do that practice every day this week, or as often as you can, or until the obstacle is no longer in your way. It's kind of like a self-defense class where you learn a move that if someone's lunging at you, you do this thing and it kind of takes their momentum and uses it against them. That's the idea. There's a lot of energy tied up in your obstacle and also in how you're engaging with the obstacle, right? So engaging with the obstacle, working with it, frees up a lot of that energy, and now you have that to use towards your creative genius planning and moving towards the dream.